Hello everyone, I'm Bill Atkins. Welcome back to my channel. Today's subject is going to be woodworking. What we're going to do is we are going to build a child's booster step. Like something to get them up to the sink or up to the cabinet or whatever. It's going to look something like this. Alright. We've got our drawings, our plans. Right here. Shows the step, the legs, and the center spanner. So we're going to take this over to our miter saw, get it cut, and we'll go from there. Alright, be back in a minute. Alright, here we are at the miter saw. Pardon the camera work, but I'm doing this by myself. Got nobody to run the camera for me. I'm working on that. Alright, now, the drawings call for the seat itself to be 16 inches long by 7 1/4 wide. Alright, so this is 7 1/4 wide. Now sometimes you can save yourself a lot of cutting, because a lot of the boards you can find at your home improvement stores, you can find them at the right width, whatever you want to cut. So I don't have to run this through a table saw. I can just get this cut down to the size I need with my miter saw, and we'll go from there. So like I said, it's 16 inches. Alright, what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure from the right hand side and make a mark at 16 inches. Alright, this is going to give me my step. So now what I do here, slide my board up, so I measured from the right, I want to place my saw blade on the left hand side. I'll get my 16, so right about in here. Now you want to keep your fingers off the trigger until you're ready to cut, and you want to keep the blade up off of the piece until you're ready to cut. Alright, so what we're going to do now, we're off. Now we can hit the trigger. Bring it slowly out and let it stop. Totally. Keep your hand on it. Let it stop slowly. So there we go. There's our 16-inch piece for the step. Alright? Now, next thing we want is the legs. So these right here are 7 1/4 wide by 6 inches tall. Alright? Now, what I want to do on this, okay, and I'll show you. I'm going to go 12 1/4 inches. Alright? I'll show you why. It'll become apparent in a couple. Alright, so we're going 12 1/4. That gives me a little bit of extra space. Alright? Because you got to count in, when you want to work with the width of your blade, your width of your blade is normally about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm giving this a little bit extra, then we'll get our cut. Alright? So, now, again, as before, line it up, the finger off the trigger, and you're right there. Now, up, there it comes to a complete stop again. Alright, so that's your legs and the step. Now, next, we have the center spanner. Okay, this also came from the big box store. It was already at 2 1/2 inches wide, which is the width for it. Alright? This brace goes right in here, between the legs. Alright? And if you notice down here, got the little curves that they're showing here to cut out. Now this plan has like the little squares on here, a little grid showing like 1/2 inch increments and stuff like that. But we're not going to worry too much about that, and I'll show you why in a minute. Okay. With this is 12 1/2 inches. According to the drawings, this is 12 1/2 inches long. So I'm going to measure 12 1/2 inches. Right there. Alright? And then we're going to cut that. Again, you come from the right, you measure from the right, cut on the left-hand side of your line. If you measure from the left, cut on the right-hand side of your line. All right, so we're lined up. There you go. And again, hold on until it comes to a complete stop. There we go. There's our 12.5 inch piece. Now, we'll move on to the next step from here in just a minute. Okay, I had done a little change up. I did cut these both at 6 inches tall. These are the legs. Alright, that's 2.5 inch by 12.5 inch. And a 16 inch seat. Alright, now the next thing I gotta do is I gotta put those arches in here. Let me get this paper and show you. Got the arches in here and in here. I'll show you how we're going to do that. Now, according to the paper here, they showed this little grid, 1/2 inch increments, and so here's this little grid. You don't have to worry about that little grid. You can. It also shows 1.5 inch in on each end. And I'll show you how we settle that. Okay. So now I'm going to take my first leg, right? I'm going to measure in 1.5 inches. The tape measure. My 1.5 inches right here at the very bottom. If we come over here and we come in 1.5 inches, we're looking at 5 3/4, and that'll give us 1.5 inches in on that side. Okay, do the same thing with this one. 1.5 inches, and then 5 3/4. That gives us our pencil marks to make our arch. Now, I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. It's going to make it real easy and simple. I just got this old painter's tape cap. I'm going to lay it on the board. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me move that down a little bit. Alright, there it is. Now, I'm just going to lay it on the board and let it just touch the marks. Just touch the pencil marks that I made. Then I'm going to draw. There's going to be my arch for the leg. Alright? The same thing with this one. I do my couple marks, 1.5 inches on each side. Just touch them. There they are. Alright? That's for those. Now, it's going to be a little bit different for this. Alright? What I'm going to do with this, I'm going to do my measuring inside, 1.5 inches. And then we'll come 1.5 inches over here. Then I'm going to find the center. It's 12.5 inches, so the center, it would be 6 1/4. Okay, so 6 1/4, that's the center, right there. Now from there, I want to come down 1.5 inches again. There's the 1.5 inches right there, in the center. The way we're going to do this, takes a little bit of practice. You use your wrist as a fulcrum. I start right here at the first mark, and I loop through. Doesn't have to be perfect. You're gonna be cutting it and sanding it. As you can see, it's a little rough, but I'll be cutting it and sanding it, and it'll be just fine. All right. The seat we have to do. We got to make corners on the seat. Round the corners off. So now, the way I do that. Inch there, inch there. Alright, that gives me a little corner. Now I can use the same lid, touch it on the marks, and make my curve right there. Now, when I get all this done, I'll be back. After I finish this off, I'll be back and I'll show you the cuts on the bandsaw. So, see you in a minute. Okay, we're back here looking at my bandsaw. Now, look, I've never aimed to be a master craftsman or anything, so if you have a different way you want to do this, if you know of a different way, or if you know somebody that has a different way, a better way, then by all means, go ahead and study, advance. This is just the way I do it, okay? Now I want to cut my line a little bit large. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make a couple cuts straight in. Okay, then I'm going to come in here. You don't want to cut right on the line. Give it a little bit of extra. That way, when you sand it, you can dress it up very nice. Take it to your line, you can sand your line right out. There you go. There's your rough cut on your curve. I'll sand that to dress it up and make it look good. Now I just got to finish up with the other parts and do the same thing, and then cut the corners off of the step. All right, and I shall be back when that's done. Okay, now as you can see, got all my rough cut outs. Got the step, the spanner, and I've got the legs I cut out. Now, one more thing I have to do to these legs to get them right. I'm going to show you right here on the plans. On the plans here, we got, see how it angles in on the edges. That's 1 inch on each side. We have to measure. So what I'm doing, you go to the top, to the very top, opposite side of your arch, measuring 1 inch there. Then you go in 6 1/4 over this time, because it's only 1 inch instead of 1.5 inches. All right. Now from there, you get yourself some sort of straight edge. You can use a board or ruler, whatever you want. Put it right on the corner down here at the bottom, and then put it right on your mark up at the top. Draw your line. And do it on the other side, same way. Okay, it's just like that. Alright, now I'm going to do the other one, and then we'll cut them. Well, I might as well do it now, show you. Okay, I got my inch marks on here already. There. Make sure it's lined up good, right at the edge. And there. Now, take this over to my miter saw again. I'll show you how we cut them there. Okay, here we are, back at the miter saw. Now, I'm building a few of these. I've got my marks on here, but from building a few of them, I know they're roughly about 10 degrees. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to loosen my miter saw. I'm going to move it over to the 10-degree point. There's a gauge across here to tell you the degrees. And on a 10-degree point right here. Alright, now what I'm going to do, take the top of it right here and set it right up against the fence. You line your saw blade up. And again, hold on to it until it comes to a complete stop. Then we just flip it over. And the same on this side. Right to the edge here at the bottom. And then on the angle this way. There you have it. There's your cut for your angle. I do the other one as well, same way. Alright, now we move on to the next process, which is sanding. And we'll be right back with that. Okay, now the final process before assembling and painting. We have to sand out the curves and smooth them out. We'll do this on this sander right here. It's got a drum on top. Turn it on. Then we just follow around the drum. Take our pencil marks out of our pieces. We'll smooth it all out. And then we'll go into our final assembly and painting. Alright? So once I'm done with that, I'll be right back. Okay, now begins the assembly process. Alright? First we've got to find the center here and how far we got to come from the ends with our legs. Okay, first of all, 7¼ inches wide. Alright? Now if you come in 3¼ inches, that's going to be the point where you're going to want to lay your spanner. Okay, down here, 3¼ inches, make another mark. Alright, now then when we go to put this on, we'll put our leg, our spanner, on this side of our marks we made. Okay, like so. But now we've got to figure out how far from the ends we want to go. Alright, 3¼ inches wide. Okay, we know our measurement's going to be 1 inch from each end. So what we do is we'll measure in 1 inch 3/4. I'm going to do that on that one end. Alright, just like so. Then, once this is on here, let's turn it this way so you can see it. Once this is on and in place on its 2 marks, and you get it on that 1 3/4 mark, set your leg on. And then we have our 1 inch from the end. Okay, so now we're going to start with the glue up process. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I use Titebond 3, it's a waterproof glue. Sometimes if it's an indoor project, I'll use like Titebond 2. What I'm going to do now with this, we're going to line straight down the center. Like so. Then we can take our spanner and put it on the marks. We want to kind of move it back and forth just a little bit to help lock it in. Press down. Any excess glue we can bring out on our fingertip. Okay, that's sitting there gluing and it's drying, setting up. Next thing we want to do, while that's setting, let's get our leg, set it here. And we're going to know, as we can eyeball this up to center it, but we can also use our tape measure. And this is a 1 inch measurement as well on each side. Alright, what we'll do is this. We gotta get our glue again. We don't have to go all the way across, we can go just a little bit in here. And put a little bit right about the center of the leg. And we'll set it up. And again, we'll move it around a little bit to get it to seat in a little bit. Take a measurement, see where we are. Give about 1 inch there. 1 inch there. That's just about right there. You can usually eyeball a lot of this up. And then we'll hold just a little bit until it catches some. And again, take the excess glue out with our fingers and just make it easier on us later. Now we'll do the same thing with our other end. Got our glue, come across here. We'll go up here. Set it in place. And center it where it needs to be. We got our about 1 inch there. About 1 inch there. If it comes out to not be a full inch or whatever, don't worry about it, because as long as it's pretty much in the center, you have it. And there's the glue up process for it. Now I have to wait and let this set for a little while, and then I'll show you the finishing touches on it. Okay, we're now at the next step here. It's all glued. It's been sitting here for about 45 minutes, so I feel it's nice and solid. Now I want to put screws in through here and through the top. Right in through here. I'll show you how we're going to do that. Now, first off, wood tends to split a little bit. If you just go ahead and drive screws on into it, it'll split. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my drill. So let me adjust my camera there for a minute. There, that might look a little bit better. Alright. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to drill 2 holes here and here to start. And we'll show you what happens from there. These are pilot holes for the screws. Just line my drill bit up with the center. One pilot hole. It'll come down a little bit. Another one right in there. Same thing on this end. There your pilot holes are in. Give me a minute. Be right back. Okay, now those are those pilot holes. Now I've got to also put pilot holes in the top. Alright, 2 here to cover the leg there, and then 1 in the center to go here. So again, you can eyeball these or you can measure if you want. Okay, if you want to measure, it's 1 inch in, right? You can measure in. There's your 1 inch. Then you measure maybe 1 inch and 3/8. That'll give you your measurement right in there. But normally you can eyeball these up. We'll come on to this side. Make sure it's lined up this way and this way. I can come back here a little bit. We'll go straight down to the top. Go straight across from it and then about the same way on the other side. Okay, then we got to figure out where the center is here. Okay, so we look at the holes on this end, and we'll go up just a couple inches and kind of line up with those holes. And again, if you want to measure, okay, we said it was 3 1/4. So we can measure over another 3/8 inches again. Boom, right there. Put a mark, and we go. You don't have to come down too far. Make sure we check underneath. So the drill bit's not coming out either side, which it is not. And back it off. Flip it around. Same thing, line it up here. Straight across. And then down the center again. Nothing on that side. Nothing on that side. And there's all of our holes drilled. I'll flip it over, we'll check, make sure nothing came through here and here. There they are. Now I'll just do a quick change. My drill, put the drill bit down, and we got a tip for putting screws in. What I'm using is number 8 2-inch screws. They're wood screws. Look like that. Right? So we're going to start, flip this upside down again. Now these pallet holes should make it so that this lumber won't split out. So now, start off down here. There we go. Gotta make sure you get the sink just a little bit if you can, and then we'll fill it. I'll show you how we'll do that in a minute. So we'll do this whole process. There's that side. That side. There we are. Now we just go down through the top. Sinks in, good. Sometimes you might have to use a counter sink. I've got one of those too. You might end up seeing that sometime in the future. It's in. 3 on this end. This makes it good and secure, good and strong, so it's not going to come apart on you. Anyway, there it is. There's the screw holes in there and in the ends. Now, we want to fill these, right? Okay? And then we're going to paint over it. So what I got here is a wood filler. This is pretty cool. It's a color changing wood filler. Alright, open it up here for you. See, it's kind of a purplish color in there. But when that dries, it'll match the color of the wood. So I'm going to get a putty knife. I'm going here, take some of this out, and when you fill these, you want to kind of overfill them a little bit, because this stuff will shrink as it sets. Like so. Take about an hour to set up. And after it sets up, we'll be able to sand it and then paint our piece. Alright? So I'll be back after this is all set up, and we'll go through the sanding process and then we'll paint. Alright? Thank you. Now it's time to sand. You see? The purple turned to the nice color of the lumber, of the wood. Now we can sand that down nice and smooth, and then we're going to go ahead and paint it. The particular person that's getting this one wanted it in one solid color, blue. Alright, we're going to use that blue. And you saw the one earlier, I had 3 different colors on there, pink and blue and stuff. But this person just wants solid blue, so that's what we're going to give them. We're going to sand it with this palm sander right here. Put a lot of pressure on these. Just run a sander over it, you know, and it'll let it do its job. I'll be back after the sanding's done, and it'll be time to finish it up by painting it. Okay, here it is, ready to be painted. What I did after I sanded it, what you're going to do after you sand it, you're going to want to take like a damp cloth, wipe it down, get the dust off. I've already done that. Now all I got to do is paint it. And then after I paint it with the blue, I'm going to do it with some clear coat to protect it. Now I'm using spray cans. You could use regular paint on them, especially if you're doing like multicolor pieces. Use regular paint by brush, whatever. But we're going to do with this. So when you shake it, when you do the can, shake it good until you hear the ball rattle inside. And that'll tell you it's ready to be used. Alright. See, I've got it up off the table a little bit, so it's not going to stick to the table. And now we start to paint. Nice, even. Just go right across. Probably take a couple of coats. Just keep moving. Don't stop with it. You don't want to stop, or you're going to start getting runs and everything in it in your project. You don't want to do that. Okay, there's coat number 1. I'll be worried about the bottom side later. Get the bottom side later, and I'll come back and we'll work, and I'll show you what we got there. Here you go, folks. Finished product right there. I painted it, blue paint, protected it with clear coat. That's the project. Okay, now a little tip for you. If you're going to make a lot of these, let me show you something. If you intend on making a lot of them, you're going to want to make something like this. Thinner wood. Make templates. This next time, all you do is lay on top of your wood, draw around it, take a few seconds, and that'll be it. Okay, that's how you get the project going. You just do the same thing with the templates as you did at the beginning when I was instructing on the measurements at the beginning. Just do the measurements, make your templates. Next time, boom, it's done. Okay. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe if you like this, and we'll see you on the next one. Stay nice.